Well, since she married Prince Harry, I tell you what, I've never seen someone destroy themselves so fast as Meghan Markle by being such a narcissist. It was just 2 days ago that I said she was making herself a laughing stock with the latest interview in New York Magazine, where she told the most obvious whoppers, like, someone in the royal family or the British media called her son the N-word. And she claimed that when she went to the London premiere of The Lion King, a cast member from South Africa looked at me, she said, and he's just liked. And he said, I just need you to know, when you married into this royal family, we rejoiced in the streets the same we did when Mandela was freed from prison. Oh, but how embarrassing. The only cast member who is from South Africa says, I've never met Meghan Markle. I did not attend the premiere in London. And yesterday, more embarrassment. Markle, in a new podcast of interviews with famous women, this time talked to Mariah Carey, the pop star and notorious diva, and sounded shocked when Carey dared to point out that Markle was a diva, really, too, even though she had just claimed being a diva was not something that she connected to.
Yes, the diva thing we can play into. I mean, it's not something that I connect to, but for you, it's been a huge part of your...
Give us diva moments sometimes, Meghan.
What kind of diva moments do I give you?
Don't act like you. It's also the visual. It's the visual. A lot of it's the visual. Because
see, that's the thing. I associate it differently.
Well, I know, but let's pretend that you weren't so beautiful and didn't have the whole thing and didn't often have gorgeous ensembles. You wouldn't get as much diva stuff. I don't care. I'm like...
Joining me on Trending Now is Daisy Cousens, Sky News contributor, not a diva, by the way, at all, but a YouTube star with her own video channel, nevertheless. Daisy Cousens, lovely to see you. Seems the media has woken up to the fun of fact-checking every single thing Meghan Markle now claims. I think she's now got a name for telling fake stories. This is not going to go well for her.
No, I don't think it is, Andrew. And honestly, how she can just sit there and tell those massive porkies with a straight face is quite incredible, because these aren't just little lies. They are giant, steaming hunks of untruth. Fancy asserting that a South African cast member said to you that the people of South Africa danced on the streets like they did when Nelson Mandela was released from prison just because she married up. That is the most ridiculous thing, and she has made such a habit of doing it. I mean, in her profile she did this week for the Cut magazine, Andrew, she asserted that members of the Royal Rota were calling her children the N-word, which is the most ridiculous claim that she provided absolutely no evidence for. She said in her podcast with Serena last week that there had been a fire in baby Archie's room while they were on tour in South Africa. That was very quickly disputed by people who were familiar with it. They said the heater simply started smoking and then was unplugged. She also said in the Cut profile that if she took Archie to school in the UK, that it'd just be absolutely awful because there would be a press pack of 40 people there snapping pictures. Also not true, because there are rules about how many cameras can go to a royal child's first day of school. Andrew, it's 2 cameras are allowed, and only on the first day of school, so that was blatantly untrue. Then we get to the Oprah interview where she insisted she was an only child and would have just loved siblings growing up, but of course also untrue. She has a sibling, Samantha Markle, and that brings us to the pièce de résistance, Andrew, of her lies, which was in the Oprah interview where she insisted that a mystery racist royal had taken issue with how potentially dark baby Archie's skin colour could be, which is not only totally unbelievable, but Prince Harry came on an hour later in the same interview and gave a completely different version of that lie. He said it actually happened at the start of their relationship, nowhere near the time she was pregnant with Archie. So goodness me, Andrew, I am so glad the media has cottoned onto this and is going to start fact-checking every single thing that she says, because somehow these lies are going to start coming back to bite her, and that is what she deserves.